Hello guys, welcome back and welcome to my channel. If this is your first time coming across this channel, my name is Judy Arego and thank you so much for deciding to pass by. Before you leave, click that button down below and subscribe to my channel. I will be so grateful. Today, hello, have you carried belly? Do you know the trouble of carrying belly? Have you pushed belly out? So, let me tell you a story of my first pregnancy. Chai! Shit made me say that I'm never getting pregnant again in my life. But see, I have baby number 2. Yeah. So, in 2014, God gave me the first fruit of my womb. So I carried my pregnancy. By the way, my pregnancy journey was not hectic. Yeah, because I was eating anything and everything. Like I had timetables. My best friend was perfect at cooking mrenda. So Mondays were for mrendas at my cooked by my best friend. Then I had another friend who was so perfect. By the way, she's a perfect cook. Vero Onegi, I salute you, girl. Special shout out. Vero will cook a whole head like yasamaki, nail patch, and bring to me. She would cook maini, like she made me love maini to date. Beef, special for me, and I used to eat. Saturdays were for chapos and nyama. Chapo and beef at my auntie's place. Like I used to eat till I asked for a pillow to sleep, like just lie down on the carpet so that at least food could teremka. Unaelewa? And I used to sleep with a 5-liter bottle of water. Before morning, that water would be gone. My belly was this big. Then I'm not tall, I'm a little bit short. Then God blessed me behind there. So you can imagine the short me with a big belly and a big tada. I was round, like literally I was round. So I carried my pregnancy. God, I carried my pregnancy for 11 months, 3 weeks. I carried my pregnancy until like I was so tired of carrying pregnancy, like I could not carry it anymore. God. The last date the doctor set for me, like, is not the date that my labor came. That date I said if I pass 6th March, no, it was to be 4th. If I pass 4th March 2015, God, I'm going for an elective CS. I'm not waiting for this anymore. So I could not even stay alone. My mom got so worried. She left home. She came to stay with me. My auntie used to be so worried, like she could not sleep. She kept asking. My best friend and her hubby, like, kept asking every day, Akibado, not yet. She's not coming. Imagine my best friend gave birth before me. And like my belly was ahead of her with a whole month. So the day came. I had moved to my auntie's place because it was near Mama Lucy. Yeah. So, in 2015, I did not have such a stable job that I'd say I'd take myself to a big hospital. So then Mama Lucy was being opened and the services were still perfect. And so I opted for Mama Lucy. So that day at 3 a.m., 4th March 2015 at 3 a.m., 3:04, I felt an urge to go and pee. I went to the toilet. Coming back, even before I lay down, another urge. Going back, I told my mom, what? Like, I'm feeling weird. I just feel like peeing continuously, and when I go to the toilet, it's not even coming out. So she's like, now finally your baby has decided to come. I got prepared, took my tea, nikafika hapo nje kwa stage, boarded number 17A, dropped me hapo kwa chief. And I just walked to Mama Lucy, and it like everything was just okay. Let me get to Mama Lucy. Hey, Kanungo started. Hmm? So I got to Mama Lucy and called my best friend's hubby. I told him I'm in the hospital. So he was like, yeah, finally. Like everyone was like, finally. Imagine carrying Belle for almost carrying Belle like an elephant, man. Like mpaka it got to that point where people are looking at you like someone sees you today, they see you next week, and you're so tired, the belly is so big, and it's like she's just going to put to bed today, and next week they will still see you just laying with your big belly. So I got to Mama Lucy. Labor. Here we are. God, I danced. Yeah? And now, we were many. And we were not quite many. We were around 4. Everyone with their bed. Yeah? So, like, mine was not that intense at the moment. But then there are those whose had come. The time has come. Like, someone will dance. Yeah? Like, they will just chill. The pain, like labor pain is a pain that comes, gets intense, then cools as it goes. So someone will chill, and then out of nowhere, ameshika kitanda. Anavuta kitanda mpaka nje ya mlango, anasukuma, anarudi nayo, boom! Here I am, laughing myself to death. Until my time reached. God, I saw fire for 3 days. Yeah? The pain was so much until I got used to it. Like, people would come to the hospital. Not yet. Bado. I remember a friend of mine called Sue came to the hospital, and she was like, hey, Judy, can't you just give birth? I want to see this baby before I go back to Kisumu. The baby refused to come. Sue had to leave and go back to Kisumu. And imagine, she had left Kisumu just to come and see me in the hospital. Baby refused to come. Day 1. Day 2. Day 3. So day 3, I decided, apana, I'm not going to stay here anymore. This pain is too much. Like, imagine someone comes, stays, labors for 30 minutes, gives birth. At 5, they came at 2, and at 5 p.m. they are going home. Huh? They found me here. They are leaving me here. Huh? So on 6th, I decided I'm leaving that labor room. I'm going to the delivery room. Like najipeleka. I went to the delivery room. I was asked, maji yako imepasuka? Like, has the water broken? And I'm like, no. So the doctor took a needle, akatoboa maji. So by that time, like, the pain was so much. And now I used to like rub my back, because when the pain comes, it comes from the back. So when it comes, nasugua mgongo ile. And I walk, because I never wanted to scream. So it was just like you walk as you tap your hand and you tap your feet and you hold on the wall. Na unasugua mgongo. God. So when I went to the delivery room, Dr. Kaniuliza, how many days have you been here? I said, this is my 3rd day. So they check me. I have not dilated that much. So they took a needle. Wakatoboa maji. Kutoboa maji. Mtoto kumbe sijui alikuwa anakuja na maji. With that amniotic fluid. So the baby went up. Maji katoka yote. The baby went up, and the part that the baby is supposed to use like for coming out, I was told it's supposed to be slippery. Water came out. The part is dry. The baby cannot come out. So I'm here. When you're ready to push, that urge comes, like that force comes automatically. So we are in this position where the baby wants to come out. The urge for pushing like is coming, but I cannot push. Even if I push, the baby is not coming out. So my baby got tired. Like it's called fetal distress. Yeah. So it got to a point where I'm laying on that bed. That force comes. I'm trying to push, and just some green stuff are coming out. So it started like little by little, and as it progresses, it became like much. So each time, and by that time, I was so green. I did not know anything. So when I try to push and those stuff are coming out, I'm like, maybe I've pulled. Huh? So I'm trying to cover so that no one can see. So there's a lady who came, she just came in for 20 minutes and she was already delivering. So the nurse who came to deliver this lady saw me and saw the green discharge. Nikasikia tu, there's an emergency here. And I'm like, what emergency? The nurses came in, it was around 12 midnight, and they're like, the people who had been scheduled for CS, this is an emergency, put them aside and let's do this fast. So on the third day, I was taken for a CS at 12 midnight. So they're like, put the oxygen on her, remove some blood, and people are rushing and they're dressing me up, and they're like, make this fast, and I don't even know what's going on. So I did not even sign those papers that people sign when they are going to the theater. Let's get to the theater, man. They're trying to insert that catheter, the one that now you, after the anesthesia, of course you will not feel your leg, so you use it to pass urine. They're trying to insert that catheter. Shit is painful, and then the urge to push is also coming. So the moment the urge comes, they're telling me don't push, and now you cannot stop that force. It comes naturally. When I push, the catheter goes out in a talker, and then the green discharge in a talker, it got to a point where it was coming much sasa inakaa uji. I had gone through so much pain that by the time walikuwa wananidunga anesthesia, I did not feel any pain. And shit, that needle is painful. I did not feel it. I did not feel the pain. So, they were so much in a rush that by the time they were starting the CS, watakudunga, then they tell you to try lift your leg. When I lifted my left leg, I could still feel it. I could feel my leg, but the right one I could not. So when they started the operation, I could still feel this. And imagine I felt those people cut my womb. It was chua. Oh, the pain, something imekukata shua. I felt it. That first pain, I told those people, mnaniua. Naeza sikia mkinikata, I can feel you people cutting my stomach. Is it okay to say cutting my stomach? Yeah. I told them I can feel it. I can feel the pain, and it was so intense. I could not even shout. I could not even cry because I was out of breath. So machozi ilikuwa inatoka tu hivyo. So by the time they were removing my baby, I just had a doctor say, I don't think she made it. And God, I knew I have given birth to a dead baby. I did not even see the sex. I just had them oxygen. I don't know what. My baby did not even cry. Mbio wenye wananishona, the baby is being rushed, sijui kwa oxygen and stuff like that. And they brought her back after something like 5 minutes. Held her this way, head down, makofi, papa. The baby cried finally. So by the time the baby was crying, I think I heard the baby's cry, but kutoka mbali sana. So it's I was out of my senses, something like that. So at Mama Lucy then, even I had believed that I gave birth to a dead baby. So even if they told me that I gave birth to a dead baby, trust you, me ningekubali. Because I did not hear, I did not even see the sex of the child. Even if they changed my baby and told me that you've given birth to a baby boy, and they gave me a girl, or they changed my baby and gave me a baby boy, and I had given birth to a girl, I wouldn't have known. I would have just carried my baby back home. But when they were removing the baby, something has been in your stomach. So the moment it's being removed, I felt like so much force has been lifted until you're feeling like a hole, like your stomach is a hole. Man. But it was so successful. I give glory to God, because if I came out of that hospital with my child alive, and still see my baby like 5 years later run around. And after all the fetal distress, like she does not have any complications. I thank you, God. Even if I stayed in the hospital for 1 week, then later left. Another stress. Imagine not bathing for 2 weeks. Like you cannot bathe for 2 good weeks. Eh? I just used to wipe myself, God, so that water could not get there where I had been operated. Then here we are getting home. I've never held a baby. She's so tiny. I even fear her. Then here I am. I have to breastfeed. My mom used to bathe the baby, dress her, wrap, then give me. The night colics. Eh? She sleeps during the day. She wakes up at 9 in the night. You want to sit down until morning. You have a wound that is healing. You have boobs that like are full of milk. Huh? And then the baby's mouth is so small, so if she was not suckling well, the nipple, it's already forming a wound. And the baby still just has to suck that. God, it was painful. The milk itself will give you extra headache. Now, here you have headache. Your breasts are full until you're like they're engorged. They're extra big, extra painful. The milk is too much. The baby will not breastfeed. Like anaonja tu hivi kidogo, then they go back to sleep. God, I suffered. Yeah. Bele. Yani, it got to a time where my mom told me to watch the baby and I just could not. At 1 month. Then she was big, but I still could not because to me she was so tiny. And I pulled through. Hey, that Mama Lucy escapade made me say, I am never, 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 never carrying pregnancy. And if I ever do, I will walk myself into that hospital at exactly 39 weeks and tell them, take the baby out. I'm not going into labor again. Hey, what I saw with my own eyes. When I got pregnant for the second time, I just walked myself to Fatima Hospital in Rongai at 39 weeks and told them we are ready. Get her out. Because my gyna had checked me out. Kumbe, I could not even dilate. So instead of wasting my time, I just went and told them, mtoeni. Time yake imefika. Akuja endeleze kumea huku ije. Like a pain that till date, I still remember. Then when I had the wound, I used to forget that niko na wound. So there's a time I lifted my leg juu like kwa nguvu until I felt like guy uzi mekatika, my intestines are falling out. This thing, it's God. Anyway, I'm not saying this to scare anyone because everybody has their own story. Yeah. Like I have my sister who only had headache, went and gave birth to their baby. Like akuumwa, aliumwa tu na kichwa. Then katikati usiku the baby is coming, taking her to the hospital. The baby just came out and she came back home walking normally. Hata hakushonwa. Yeah. And here I am. Labor for 11 months, 3 weeks, like almost a whole year carrying pregnancy. Ogini. Chai. So everyone has their own story, beautiful or ugly. At the end of the day, the most important thing is safe mom, safe baby. It doesn't matter whatever method you use to bring a child into the world. And no one should ever make you feel less of a woman because either you gave birth through a CS or anything happened in the process. Because it's you who understands your story and you and the doctors. It's you and the doctors who knows what's best for you. I hear people say at yo siku hizi wanawake wanaogopa kupush. Oh, you don't know someone's story. You really don't know. The most important thing is perfect baby, safe mama, safe baby. Any other thing is not important with God in it. And I tell you, 5 years down the line, I still look at this my child, and if someone tries to touch them, I feel you see the pain I felt the first time I was being cut in that theater. I still feel it today. Huyo mtoto wangu sitakangi jokes kwake. Yeah. So when you're carrying that belly, prepare yourself, my sister. Know that it's either Hebrew birth or kawaii. All in all, I wish you all who will watch this well heavily expectant and beautifully waiting for their bundles of joy. Yeah, everyone has their own story. It does not mean if it happens to me that way, it will happen to you that way. Of course, my second born was not the same as my first born, so every baby comes different. And yeah, belle now wow. We are 5 years and we thank God. See you.